Tyler Herro made his debut for the Heat last night. I was really interested to see how he would look in the new system. Like we talked about off the top, like would he come in and play in the Heat system, like drive and kick, generate dribble penetration one-on-one like everyone else is, thriving as a scorer in off-ball situations off of the chaos generated by the other drivers? Or would Spoelstra go, this is a great time for us to add a little bit more variety and run some more like Tyler Bam two-man game? And, then I see the box score from last night, and Tyler has 24 points with only 2 3-point attempts, both of which he missed. And I was immediately like, oh, this is going to be super interesting. I was excited to see how it, like the actual process with which they got Tyler Herro to that 24-point mark. And the answer is we got literally 0 reps of the Tyler Bam two-man game. There's a funny possession in the second half where Tyler caught the ball in the left wing and Bam like kind of went up like he was gonna set a screen, and you're like, oh, here we go. And then he ended up just cutting through to the other side. And it's like, nope, they're not gonna do it. Now, to be clear, I would not be surprised. As a matter of fact, I would be shocked if they didn't eventually do this. But I do think that over the course of the season, we'll see little bits and pieces of the Tyler Bam two-man game, especially in like late game situations when they're looking for something to spam. I don't think they're going to completely abandon it. But last night ended up being an opportunity for them to basically just be like, let's see what it looks like if Tyler Herro just plays within this Miami Heat system. And it honestly looked amazing. Like we got 0 reps of the Tyler Bam two-man game. We did get 2 off-ball pin downs where he came off of action with Kel'el Ware, and he ended up getting in that. Like those off-ball pin downs effectively mimic a ball screen because they're covered the same way. Like the defender usually is going to chase you over the top, and the big's going to be in some variation of a drop coverage. And he ended up facing 2 deeper drop coverage looks in those off-ball pin downs with Kel'el Ware, and he was able to get into his drop coverage bag, which is like that little floater in the lane, right? He missed his first one in the first half, and he made his second one. That was actually a huge play in the fourth quarter as the first of a stretch where Miami scored on 5 possessions in a row. But everything else outside of those 2 two-man game reps with Kel'el Ware, everything else was like firmly in Miami's driving kick system. Like he was attacking gaps in transition for quick little driving floaters and things along those lines, attacking closeouts with just quick drives off of kickouts from Heat drives. This is actually how he hit the game winner. The Miami gets a stop. There's a little transition push ahead. Pelle Larsson's probing kind of along the right lane line, and Max Christie ends up sinking too deep in help. Pelle Larsson pitches it back to Tyler Herro on the right wing, and Max is closing out hard right on his right shoulder, right? So that's one of those baked-in driving lanes we always talk about. Tyler Herro just rips to the left, cleanly beats Max. PJ Washington steps up and help, but he just shoots this like sky-high floater. Really impressive piece of shot making, but that ended up being basically the game winner. And that's the off-ball scoring element that I think Tyler's just going to absolutely feast on. This is something that Norman Powell's been doing for the entire start of this season. But like when you've got guys like Davion Mitchell that can dribble drive and start the advantage process, Jaime Jaquez that can dribble drive and post and start the advantage process, the transition pushes, which can in and of themselves start the drive and kick process. Tyler Herro is going to get a lot of opportunities to attack closeouts, and he's just going to be insanely good at that because that's, his combination of ability to hit, catch, and shoot threes, but also to do lots of like kind of counter move scoring in the middle of the floor. He's just going to be a really high level player attacking closeouts in this system. And then every time he caught the ball out front, like in a clean one-on-one where the defense wasn't broke down, he just attacked. No ball screens. He just attacked one-on-one. And this is where it actually got super interesting to me because in theory, this is not a strength of Tyler Herro's game. He's not exactly a slasher, like a guy that's just going to just toast people off the dribble one-on-one. And he's only an okay one-on-one player. Like last year, shooting out of ISO, he was 45th percentile, which is slightly below average. And you can see when he was ripping on his drives, like it wasn't like he was just clean beating Max Christie off the dribble on that first attack. Although to his credit, he did have a big one late against Ryan Nembhard off the left wing where Nembhard was squared up with him and he just ripped to left and did cleanly beat Ryan, hit a little bank shot. By the way, Ryan Nembhard was like the easy target for Miami down the stretch. Davion Mitchell went right through him for an easy layup. Tyler Herro went right through him for an easy layup. But other than that play against Ryan Nembhard, like Max Christie in particular, he's too quick for Tyler Herro to just cleanly beat off the dribble, right? And I thought Tyler did a really nice job of just making aggressive driving moves in a way that at least forced Max to take a big backward step before he would try to cut him off. And so for the most part, he would cut off Tyler, but not until he got into that short range. And once he got into that short range, he was able to get into his short range shot making game. And similar to what we were talking about with Amen Thompson, he would just pop up off the ground, hit a little righty floater, hit a little lefty floater, hit a little short jump shot. He hit like a tougher step back jump shot along the left baseline in the second half on a play where Max cut him off a little bit earlier. But, honestly, like that's really valuable over the top scoring for this Miami team. Because again, like there will be stretches where they can start cutting off these drives, not even just for Tyler, but for Davion and for Jaime and for any of these guys that get their one-on-one opportunities. But Tyler, like in the one-on-ones, I think he ended up running 5 ISOs last night and getting 6 points out of them, if I remember correctly. He got a bunch of those like little easy little short-range jump shots in his one-on-ones. And similarly in the quick little closeouts he'd attack, when he would get cut off, he could at least pop up off the ground in that short range. Like it's really impressive to go for, what was that, 24 points on 18 shots with no free throws. Really, really impressive work from Tyler Herro, and kind of like a really nice little taste of what it will look like when he's scoring within Miami's system. Again, I do think over time, Spoelstra will incorporate some more screening action for him. I think especially in ATOs too. I think we'll see a little bit of that kind of stuff. And clutch situations, I think we could see some more of that kind of stuff. Some matchup specific stuff, like teams that are running more deep drop. I think we could see a little bit more of that Tyler Bam 2-man game. But to start, Eric Spoelstra was very much like, hey, Tyler, let's see how you can play in this new system. And Tyler just looked awesome. No way around it. And like, again, like only one of those buckets, only one of his 12 made buckets came into screening action. That one little curl off of Kel'el Ware for the floater in the fourth quarter. It's just crazy how consistently the Heat is just breaking down teams one-on-one. Like they had a stretch in the clutch where they scored on 5 consecutive possessions. And the first was that little Tyler Herro drop coverage rep off of the Kel'el Ware 2-man game where he got in the lane off the wide pin down and hit the floater. But the next 4 were all just one-on-ones. Davion Mitchell, one-on-one through Ryan Nembhard, easy 2. Jaime Jaquez just goes right at PJ Washington and draws a foul. Tyler Herro goes right through Ryan Nembhard for an easy 2. Pelle Larsson, like, stares down Cooper Flagg and just rips through to the left and beats him cleanly off the dribble for a layup. It's crazy how consistently they get into the lane on their one-on-ones. And the hot streak for Miami continues. They've now won 5 games in a row. Their bigs were awesome once again. Kel'el continues to put up video game numbers. He had 20 and 18 last night. He had been averaging like 15 and 15 in the previous stretch, the last like 6 or 7 games, a couple weeks before that. Had a big lob dunk late too, on similar type of play where Davion Mitchell just beat his man off the dribble to the middle, got Kel'el's man to step up just a little bit, just pitched it up in the air, boom, 2-handed dunk as he gets behind Daniel Gafford there along the baseline. Bam had 17 and 6, and he made the biggest defensive play of the game late. There's an inbounds pass. Guy's open in the corner. Bam is kind of like denying a different catch right there, right in front. He closes off the whole passing lane. They try to throw it over the top to the corner. He just elevates and steals that pass. One of the biggest plays of the game on the defensive end. The Heat are playing some really good, fun basketball right now. Again, their 5th consecutive win